on the show.
Right.
But they choose not to. I don't know.
Right. And whether that's a good or bad thing, I don't know either. But yeah, I'm just, when you work, let's say somebody works 40 hours a week, and I haven't worked 40, that little in years. And let's say you don't have kids and you don't have housework to take care of, and let's say you don't do any volunteering, you still only have so much time. I'm still on episode 1 of Mandalorian.
Oh shit!
Because it's like, how am I gonna fit in another 45 minutes today to catch up to catch the second episode? I don't know.
Well, I mean, 15 minutes of the show is credits.
I'm still on episode 2 of the new season of Rick and Morty. Because how am I gonna come up with 20 minutes to sit down and watch Rick and Morty? Like there's shit to do.
I can't believe I'm keeping up with Rick and Morty and you're not. And you kept up with South Park when I quit on South Park. Although I did go back and watch that episode. I did go back and watch that episode.
The shit episode?
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, it's nothing
you
but
gotta
shit
get
joke
into it. You got to get into it a little bit, but it was funny.
And misogynistic. It's basically saying women are worthless and they're just emotional bitches and catty bitches, and it's really probably their worst episode up there to the worst episode to date. I haven't watched it, but I watched the beginning of it, and I've read.
Yeah, you said you didn't even make it 5 minutes in.
No,
and I think
if you would have made it.
No,
I wouldn't, because I've listened to people who have talked about it. I've listened to the reviews. I've watched reviews of it. I've read reviews of it. It is all just talking about how catty women are. There's a small little thing about how weird fecal transplants are, and they are weird, and they are a real thing, and that's fine, but don't turn it into a shit and fart show and then just talk about how women are worthless and all they do is bitch and fight and they can't do anything for themselves. Who wants to watch that? That's what it was about.
That episode.
But that's what it was about.
I watched
whether you took it from it.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm telling you what it was about.
But that's not what this is about. This is about PCO defeating Roosh to become your Ring of Honor World Champion.
And to give Fat Mac the win in one that was a nail biter for me, because in my head I thought I had lost when I was watching it. But then when I went through and tallied it up, I was like, oh my God, I won by 1.
And I wanted to pick PCO too, just on the fact that I figured Skrull would lose and be out, and I don't think PCO is leaving Ring of Honor ever.
No.
I think this is where his career ends.
He's retiring here.
Yeah. Which is totally fine.
But, Pacey, that brings us to the tiebreaker. I would have beat you still on the tiebreaker because Teddy Hart was a no-show, and I thought he was going to be. You picked yes, that was going to be my pick. I was surprised we didn't see Teddy Hart, not so much because I thought Ring of Honor would have shoehorned it in, but because Teddy Hart loves to be super controversial and would love nothing more than to show up at his wife's match, just not even for his wife, for himself.
He should be at ringside with his hands over his mouth and nose looking.
Right? That's never going to go. That's going to be one that sticks around for a few months.
That's Maria Maddox's boyfriend.
That would have been good.
He's not a dentist. He probably could use one, though.
But he loves cats.
I didn't use the cat picture. I almost used his cat picture for the promo pick for this week's show.
Him and Natty could be a good tag team together just because they both love cats so much.
They
I don't know if it's a Hart thing or what. Something with the Hart family.
Shit, maybe he goes to WWE, huh?
I don't think he will. He's burned bridges in WWE, but we all know WWE is a never say never organization.
Right.
And I could see them signing him to like a 2-year deal.
Yeah, I could see him do a 5-year deal and still not use him right. Sign him in for the long term and then be like, oh, you shat on us. Here you go. Have fun sitting at home.
Have fun sitting at home and collecting a big check, buddy. Yeah. Screw you.
We're going to release 20 more people, but you just got here, so you're stuck for a while.
Yeah. He could easily show. It's going to be interesting to see where he shows up. I don't think it would be WWE because, as I said, he's burnt bridges there, and they invested a lot into that guy. But he was also a lot younger then, and the excuse was always he had so much promise. He's such a talented guy, but his inexperience and his youth and his that all is what shot him in the foot. And now you look at him 20 years later, and he's pulling the same shit.
Yeah.
It's a sad
just like Austin
story.
Aries will never change. I did watch his interview with Chris Van Vliet too, and oh my God, he was not a likable guy.
No, he's not, and it's
he
sad
has some
'cause
good
he's so
stories,
talented.
but that's like the end of it. Like hearing about how he was the sexual harassment suit that was going on in Impact before he left, and that why he left the way he left. I don't know. It was cool hearing him talk about it, but it's like, oh my God, I guess you fucked up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't like that he was able to come out looking like, the smug, better man.
When he wasn't.
Walking out, when he no-sold and walked out and flipped off the cameras. They should have, I don't know, I think they should have came down on him harder than that. But he's a master negotiator, I guess, so. But I think with that, I think with that, it is time to get into the extremely large Savage Sentinel of the Week.
Folks, the Savage Sentinel is so large we had to break it up into 2 parts and insert a prediction into the middle of it.
It's so large, we named the show after a small segment of this large segment.
And you know what I was laughing at? I was looking at last week's show, and we had a ton of coming and goings in that one, and this one's even bigger than that. It's that end of the year thing, I guess.
Usually they wait till spring for spring cleaning, but as we'll see, people are getting Christmas gifts. But we're not there yet. We got some big news to crack into.
We do. Go ahead.
All right. Last June, we revealed the news. Former 3-time AWA World Heavyweight Champion Reggie the Crusher Lisowski received a life-size bronze statue.
It saved his life, even though he was already dead. They PCO'd his ass.
Yep. It's really a battery. The life-size bronze statue at the first annual Crusher Fest in South Milwaukee. Known as the wrestler that made Milwaukee famous, Crusher worked in the wrestling business for around 40 years, retiring in 1988, the year your boy Pasty popped out the womb.
Pop him.
He died at the age of 79 of a brain tumor in October of 2005. About 2 months after, we also broke sad news that the family noticed it had been damaged after 2 individuals caused $1,200 worth of damage using a concrete block. Luckily, a surveillance camera was able to lead police to one of the men. 18-year-old James C. Dudgeon was convicted of criminal damage. Dudgeon admitted to the crime, claiming he didn't think it was a big deal and thought the statue was cool.
Then why'd you throw a cinder block at it, dickhead?
Because he's not cool and he was very jealous.
That's true.
Dudgeon with a last name like Dudgeon, what do you expect, right? Dudgeon the Bludgeoner.
I love it.
Dudgeon had been incarcerated since September 12th due to this being a violation of a previous probation for a previous offense. Yeah, that should have been a good deterrent from doing it as well, I think.
It's because he stole the head off of the statue of Jebediah Springfield. That rapscallion.
Dudgeon!
Don't have a cow, man.
He will pay for the damages along with $650 in restitution to the Crusher Foundation. Receive 1-year probation.
Stop him.
Complete 40 hours of community service. They should have him scrubbing the statue with a fucking toothbrush.
They should.
And maintain full-time employment, full-time school, or a mix of both. I think it should just be forced both plus all that shit.
He should have full-time school, full-time employment, and cleaning up the Crusher statue.
Yeah, and a part-time job on top of that.
I think he should.
The second suspect, Douglas E. Macklin.
Because that sounds like a great feller, too. Dudgeon and Macklin. Two jobbers coming in. That sounds
These guys have good wrestling names.
For jobbers, they do. Dudgeon the Bludgeoner and Dougie Macklin. They're losing to fucking the Usos, you know that.
Yeah, they are.
Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary.
Still better names than the Viking Experience.
Very true.
He has
Still better names than Jeff Cobb and Dan Daff.
Sorry. Well, Doug E. Macklin has an arrest warrant out for causing damage to the property. He was identified by Dudgeon the Bludgeoner.
Snitch.
$40,000 was raised through a crowdfunding and donations to help build the statue. The Crusher was inducted into the WCW Hall of Fame in 1994 and the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2005, and will almost assuredly be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame sometime in the future. Maybe this year.
Maybe not.
Well, we're talking about him.
That's true. It's another sad thing of people just disrespecting things just to do it. The fact that he's like, I didn't think it was a big deal, and I thought the statue was cool. I just wanted to throw a cinder block. And let me preface that by saying, not preface, obviously, because I already said it, but let me follow that by saying,
I'm sure there's plenty of overpasses in that town.
I did the exact same shit, though, back as a kid. I did stupid things for stupid reasons that had nothing to do with anything and caused a lot of damage. So, I get it, but as I look back as an old 25-year-old man, I think it's stupid as shit.
Yeah. I gotta say, I wasn't out vandalizing shit at 18. I think by then I knew better.
Yeah, by 18, that's true. By 18, I wasn't. That was more of like a 13 to 16 thing.
Yep. Same
for
here.
Sure.
And I paid for it every time.
And somebody who else has paid for a bad decision, but wasn't a bad decision of his own, was David
And another
Arquette.
future WWE Hall of Famer at that.
Oh, hands down. And if he isn't, it's disgusting. He should be in both the wrestling ring and in the celebrity wing. But good old David Arquette's return to professional wrestling is officially the subject of an upcoming documentary pasty called You Cannot Kill David Arquette, which
Trust
is being
me,
produced
he's tried
by
in the last
XPR.
year.
Oh, he has, and many other wrestlers have. I tell you what. In a statement to The Wrap, the former WCW champion had the following to say, quote, I've always loved wrestling. I wanted to do this film as a love letter to wrestling. I didn't know when I started this journey that it may cost me my life, but it was all worth it just to have the wrestlers in the locker room call me, quote, one of the boys.
Which was the same thing he said when Ready to Rumble came out.
And the same thing he said when he got the job of Dewey in Scream.
I gotta say, he's a more entertaining wrestler than he is an actor. Sorry.
That is true. That is true. He's probably a more entertaining human than an actor.
Yeah, I watched 8-Legged Freaks a while back, and I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
No wonder he didn't do very good in WCW.
XTR calls the documentary unlike anything you've seen before and touted that they're giving David a chance to tell his side of his pro wrestling journey. Basically,
Do you think David Arquette was supposed to be the main character in Idiocracy?
Are you going somewhere with this, or
when we were just talking
instead of
about
Luke,
it, that came into my head. Yeah, instead of Luke
Owens.
I think David Arquette. I think now it makes sense in my head that he was probably the guy they wrote the script for. But
I guess I don't know. I don't know.
He can't play a smart guy. That's all I'm saying.
But can Luke Owens? Have you ever seen him play a smart guy? He always plays the idiot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for that matter, so does Owen, but Owen's usually a more successful idiot in his movies. As he is a more successful actor in his movies. He's the Billy of the Owens. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's about time Arquette.
This is good. I can't wait to see this.
Wrestling and himself in wrestling. It's
been
a good resurgence. It's been a good resurgence this year.
First of all, David Arquette did not kill WCW, and he did get a lot of eyes on it, and he adamantly did not want to be champion. Two, and I've said this on here many times before, all of the money he got from WCW, every cent that he was ever paid from WCW, he donated to Owen Hart's family. So this is a guy who has been a lifelong wrestling fan who, when got the chance to be in a wrestling angle like any of us, said, fuck
donated to Owen's family. He just bought a bunch of painkillers off of him. Come on.
That's the same thing, isn't it?
Not if you're receiving goods and services.